Today's guest, she is so special. She is a businesswoman, like a real BILF boss I like to follow. I just gave you one name. So like Madonna, you're like Rebekah.
I love that.
But let's talk about what everybody wants to know.
That's a very good question because people ask that all the time. It's not a dating app because we see the data of the users.
So it's in the US, it's in Dubai.
US, Dubai, Mexico City.
If you're growing organically, then adding the marketing piece is just going to be a plus to your business, which is incredible.
And we know what we're looking for, because if you start throwing everything at marketing and you don't understand what is your playbook of growth and your distribution channel, it doesn't mean that it will go well.
That is absolutely incredible. Welcome back to the BILF Pod, where authenticity trumps authority. Now, today's guest, she is so special. She is the founder and CEO of an app called Dion. I'm sure you guys all know what it is. She's defying all odds, breaking barriers. She is a businesswoman, like a real BILF boss I like to follow. She has her hands in hospitality. She has her hands in tech. Yes, hospitality and tech. I don't know how they go together. But welcome to the BILF Pod. Welcome, Rebekah. She is crushing it. Welcome, girl.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, I am so excited. I didn't want to butcher your last name, so we're just gonna, I just gave you one name. So like Madonna, you're like Rebekah.
I love that.
So you have been featured, which is like really exciting, in 30 Under 30, which is like, I don't know if you know, but what an honor. I'm trying to get in there for like 50. No, I'm just kidding. I would love to be in there, but it really is such an honor to be in 30 Under 30. But we're going to first talk about what you're doing, where you're going, why this is important to you. So we'll take it slow, but let's talk about what everybody wants to know. You created an app that starts with like basically a simple gesture, right? Of giving a drink. And it's really, is it a dating app? Is that what you would define it?
That's a very good question because people ask us that all the time. So it's not a dating app because we see the data of the users. And even if it started as a way for us to reinvent the first digital move, soon we realized that people use it not only to break the ice with someone they want to meet or date or network, but also to gift friends, to reconnect with, people they met once and they want to build a deeper relationship. So we see people using it because they want to date someone, which is very obvious. So, I see you on the app, I want to break the ice with you. Instead of sending you a DM or a swipe or a zero-cost action, essentially, I send you something that has value and it's very intentional. So I buy you, essentially, your favorite drink at your favorite place. Ooh, which is cool. We have many people that use it for networking, especially now we're going viral in NYU because we had a student, an intern, and she joined Dion, and she saw people from the companies that she wants to work with after graduation. So she started sending them coffees. And she was like, I would love to connect. I want to get an internship with your company. And because it's so intentional and it's meaningful, they started to reply to her and meeting her for a coffee. So she spread the word around and everyone wants to join Dion to find their next job. Wow. Like ditch LinkedIn, Dion is the way to actually get that interview. And we have friends. We have many people that use it for gift. It's a very easy way to gift, to remember birthdays, to send them a nice bottle of wine or something of their favorite value.
Nice. So it's like a social app. Like a social interaction. So, but let me ask you, what if you have like really nice taste? Like I like Clase Azul. You think people send me Clase Azul?
I'm sorry, you can put your favorite drink. You put your favorite drink in your favorite place. So we've noticed that people usually actually send that because they want the key to your heart.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's it. That's the key to my heart right here. Where did this idea come from? Because you have a background in engineering, right?
Yes, I'm a software engineer by training. So I used to be in tech my whole life. Before that, I used to work at Bloomberg, which was an amazing company, and I had such a great experience. And it really taught me all the foundation, how you build system that scales, how you actually become a proper engineer, how you build teams, how you make impact. But I really wanted to do something on consumer. I'm one of those people that I love socializing, I love meeting people, I love learning the story, and I love connecting.
Yeah.
And I feel that even if we live in the most connected generation, it's the loneliest one. You have access to everyone. You say that you are 6 connections away from anyone in the world, but there are no meaningful relationships. And even if you have access and you send that message or you send that request, people don't reply. So the fatigue that comes with that was something that really annoyed me. And the aha moment came fun enough. I used to live in London and I was traveling, and it was my best friend's birthday. So she was celebrating at one of our favorite venues in London, and I couldn't be there. So I called the place, which I've done in the past, and I said, look, I would love to send your favorite sake. So, I'm there as a gift, even if I cannot make it. So I did the whole process, and it's like a very tedious one. You have to put your card down.
Yeah.
It's like a long process. I called her the day after. I was like, how was the birthday? She didn't get. So it's like, it was boring. You were missed. Nothing happened. Did you get my gift? So I was, what gift? What are you talking about? So this frustration, I was like, okay, let's actually take one behavior that already exists in our social culture, find someone and drink. No one has never digitized it. Let's use it to actually break the ice and help people connect. So we thought it was a very fun and intentional thing. And then it actually grew to everything that's happening now, which is so much more than that.
That is absolutely, because I'm just thinking in my head, how many times I've done that, like call for a friend's birthday, called,
and how they tell me how hard
it's just a pain in the ass, because then you got to make sure they're open because if the restaurant's not open, then you have to call back. And then you have to hope that it just went through, whoever was on shift that time gets it over to whoever's going to be on shift for the night that the person is having their birthday. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I never thought about it. It is something, it's a need. It's a niche, and it's a need for people that want us to say thank you. Yeah, I love that. So how many years has this app been going?
So in the beginning, we beta launched in Dubai. We wanted, to test everything, and especially if you are building a new category, it's very important to get user feedback. We were doing in partnerships with venues. So we started there last year, but officially we launched beginning of June 2025 in the US.
Wow.
So it's been less than a year now.
So it's in the US, it's in Dubai, and where?
US, Dubai, Mexico City. But now, in the next 2-3 months, we're going to launch a couple of cities. Next week, we are launching LA, which I'm very excited about. I love LA.
Yeah.
Then it's such a great market for everyone.
That is absolutely incredible. So you took a need and then you capitalized on it, and now you're running this incredible company. How many people do you have running the company?
Now we are all together almost 17 people.
17 people are running,
almost, because one is part-time, so it's 16 and a half.
That, and then obviously you have like a marketer and somebody that gets all of this stuff.
That's a very good point. We do not have, as I know. I come from engineering, so my first instinct was, let's be an amazing engineering team. Let's build an amazing product, a great UI, great UX, and a team that can scale.
Right.
So we have a very strong foundation there. And then we have the community reps and general managers in each of the cities we launch. But we realized that we don't have anyone but is doing marketing. So it's my co-founder and I, and both of us don't understand marketing. I mean, I created a TikTok account like some months ago. I was like, oh, TikTok, let's see what this is. I'm like very technical, but not very in the marketing mix. But actually, it has been growing very, very well. So now we are hiring.
Which is great, because if you're growing organically, then adding the marketing piece is just going to be a plus to your business, which is incredible.
And we know what we're looking for, because if you start throwing everything at marketing and you don't understand what is your playbook of growth and your distribution channel, it doesn't mean that it will go well. Many consumer apps face that, you spend millions in marketing and nothing happens.
Right.
So we took actually our time to understand with our resources, okay, where do we see the results? What drives engagement and user? So now we're in the place to say, look, we'll double down on that and make this thing go global.
Well, I love that it's a multifaceted app too. It's not just for dating, right? That's what I got. That's what that was. But then, I mean, it took you, you're taking it one step further. It's for social connection. It's for remembering, your friend's birthday or trying to get that job, which is great. Now I'm going to use that when my daughter goes and applies for a job and tell her to find me. It's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant in your mind. And this, that you are a woman CEO, and owner. This says, this is a lot for young women. So I would say, like, what would you say to young entrepreneurial women? I know we were talking just a little bit about sacrifice, and I know you didn't really want to talk about it. And you're like, is it going to be negative? But I think it's important to know because this generation is so unintentional. And I hate to say it, they're so lazy. There's no grit. I don't see it anymore, any grit or grind. Like, you've sacrificed a lot.
Yeah, true. Look, it's also the journey. I mean, you have days that nothing is working. So these days are the lows, and the lows are low. You can't sleep. You think about what should I do? What's the next move? There is so much uncertainty. There are days that, you're on top of the world. The highs are so high.
Yeah.
So I have days that I'll call, let's say, my family or a close friend. I'll be like, we are killing it. This is it. It's the best day in my life. I cannot believe that this happened. Some other days are not great. That's why we were discussing that before. It's a journey. The most important thing that I found helped me tremendously is taking it one step at a time.
Yeah.
So in the past, when I started, I needed to see the end game. I was like, okay, I need to do this. I need to have, I don't know, raise that much money, have that many users, etc. Now I keep the goals, but I really break it down. So every morning that I wake up, I'm like, okay, these are the 5 things that are going to move the needle for Dion, and I'm focusing on them. Because otherwise, it's so vague that you cannot get a sense of achievement and purpose, and you're just getting drawn and lost. So I do that. So my advice, because you ask, is that I feel you should do something that you really love and you're so passionate about that you cannot exist without building it. So for me, building the own is super important. I love it. There is nothing in life at this point that, takes higher priority than this. And this is because if you really don't love it, there is no way that you will be able to go through it, because it's a hard journey. It's not easy. You lose your friends, you shrink your social circle, and you sacrifice a lot. So every time you have to make a decision. You're like, what do I do? Do I go, I don't know, having drinks with my girlfriends, or get another thing done, get this, wireframe, get this design document, get this marketing material out, whatever that is. So usually the decision is like, oh, let's get something more done, because if I do this, maybe I'll be in a better place. So I think it's very important to do something that you love. And it's also very important to remember that it's a long game.
Yeah.
And you have to find ways to cope with that. So you cannot run 100% every day. And I try to remind that myself as well, that I need to take a weekend off. I need to go to my non-negotiable. I go to the gym 6 out of 7, or 7 out of 7 with walking. If I don't, I don't know what will happen.
Yeah.
You need something to take your mind off.
That's funny. That's my non-negotiable. Everybody knows this about me. I do not start my day without going to the gym. Otherwise, I'm not. Yeah, I do it early in the morning. I do it at 5 a.m.
No way.
I have to because of my kid. I have to. But but I do and I've gotten a lot of feedback from this, that people don't believe that the gym and being successful are synonymous, and they are. Yep. They are 100% synonymous. And I'm assuming that you're probably very similar to me. You're results driven. Yes. So, and you're probably 0 to 100. Yes. And then when it doesn't go to 100, at least for me, when I have a goal, the goal is going to happen. It's going to happen no matter what I have to sacrifice in order to get there. And I like what you said is that, you take the goal, and the goal will always be there, but you can also start peeling back the layers to start doing it little by little, because the same thing happens for me. I have to remember that Rome wasn't built in a day, so the goal will always be there. But once you start taking it step by step, little by little, you're getting 1% closer to where you need to be. So, what you completely said resonates with my entire life and where I want to go.
And I feel one of the interesting points that I see in myself is that when you start, you read all these success stories, and I thought, I read all these stories. Oh, you have an amazing idea. You are going to work hard on it and you're successful in like 6 months. And it's not the reality now. So it's a very long journey. And the thing is with human mind that when you actually get to a point that things are good and you're successful, you have this coping mechanism that you tend to forget the difficult situation and everything that happened before. So even now you ask me, I'm like, yes, Dion is a success. We're growing so much. We have such a great momentum. If you ask me a year ago, I would cry. I would be like, this is never going to work.
That's the things that people don't talk about.
Yeah.
Well, those are the things that people, what are the people ask me? If I knew then what I know now, what would I do different? I wouldn't do anything different. But the thing that people don't talk about the journey of success is the anxiety at night, right? The anxiety where your mind won't stop, or the amount of times that you're crying silently, at least for me, like nobody can see me cry, or, the amount of doubt, self-doubt that you put in your head. Is it this going to work? And like, I'm always living in this like, oh my God, is the rug going to be pulled out from underneath me anytime? So those are all the things they don't warn us about success at all, or you're right. They look at the stories. They're like, they're just so successful. Well, how many failures did you have in order to?
But you forget. I forgot about mine. I'm like, everything is great. Dion is it's such a success. We have a moment. But you forget that you didn't feel like that because you enjoy the moment and, you get away. But I think it's important to say that it's a long journey.
Yeah.
And for me, the most important thing and what I advise every, entrepreneur I meet is do it with a co-founder. It's a very long journey and lonely, and you need to have people that, you can actually share everything. Because your family or your friends, except if they are in the same business, yes, they are great and they support you and it's so important, and I'm very grateful. But they cannot understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
You need people that are actually have skin in the game and they're actually going through what you're going.
Now, your co-founder, is it like a friend of yours, or is it somebody that maybe you met them on Dion? No, is it
after we meet off?
Where, like, how did you intertwine with your co-founder?
So we met socially many years ago, and we started working in a side project. There were like 5 co-founders, which was an amazing experience because when you work with many people, you realize that I don't know, it's so hard to make a company work with 5 co-founders, too many cooks. But you also can understand who are the people that you can actually, get along together and work together. So I went in because another friend introduced us, and I realized, and this friend of mine, we were starting a side business, a side tech platform together. But I realized that I cannot work with them because the work ethic was nothing to do, like mine. But my co-founders' work ethic was exactly the same, and we were super alike. So we had these 5 people founders call, but everyone was fighting. We couldn't make a decision, and the 2 of us would call each other after. We'd be like, yeah, they don't know what they're doing. This is how we should do it. So at some point, we were like, look, let's build something that we're both very passionate about. And this is how it started. And then my CPO came in, who is also, it's the 3 of us, essentially.
That's amazing. And you've been in business together for how long?
Now, the 3 of us, it's been like 3 years, 3.5 years.
Has there ever been a moment where you're like, I don't know it.
Or 4.5.
Oh, there you go.
See, you were yet.
Has there ever been a moment where you thought to yourself, like, how am I going to get through this? Can I even pull this off?
Yes. But I have this thing that I will have these thoughts, but I will never entertain them. So I'll never be, someone, this is me. Everyone is different, but I'm never crying or saying what I'm going to do or complaining. I just put the hours in. So when I moved to Dubai to launch Dion there, it was a very difficult market. It's a great city and great people, but it's a very closed community.
Yeah.
And, US is like insane. There is a reason why most of the startups happen here because they are first movers. They love technology. They love trying new things. They are very passionate advocate of innovating. In Dubai, it's not exactly like that. In Europe as well, but Dubai is almost there. So I was trying to launch something that has never existed before. People, even now, cannot necessarily understand what is the ethos of Dion, what we're trying to do, or how is it going to work. I had people, okay, but how does this work? Does the waiter come to me, then bring the drink to my house? What does this mean?
How does it work?
Exactly. So it's like a gifting app. So essentially, I see you on the app, and if I want to connect with you, the only way is if I send you your favorite drink at your favorite place. So you can unlock it. So in order to unlock it, you have to send me a message.
Okay.
And if you do, then it's like a gift. You have 30 days to go to, I don't know, tell me,
Starbucks.
to Starbucks to get your matcha latte. So this is it. But it's very new, so it wasn't very easy to understand. So I moved there, and in order for Dion to work, I had to sign venue partnerships. So the venues had to be aware that, if you go there and say, hi, I have a drink, by the way, it's treated by Dion, they will actually serve it to you. So I was going around to the venues and no one was signing. They were like, interesting, but no, we don't understand how this works. We don't love it. And they would throw me, they would like, speak with this guy, speak with the others, speak with the owner, speak with the manager, speak with the beverage. So it was very hard. I remember I had the worst. Yeah, I thought I was trying and trying and trying, but I've reached the point of like, maybe this will never work out because no one will ever sign. And it got worse because I managed to find someone like that is run a big company there with a couple of with many venues, influential as well, and he loved it. She was like, "Guys, I love it. Let's do it." I was so excited. I was like, "This is happening. This is it." So I started doing the whole training because now Dion has changed. But in the past, we had to do a training to onboard the venue, to explain how it works. So many steps. So I did everything. I prepared the treating menus. I did the sales, training material, whatever. And we were ready to go live. I remember still the date. I was out speaking with another venue owner for drinks like 7 p.m. And I see an email one day before we go live saying, we're so sorry. The other founder of the company saw the app and they cannot be, and we don't want our brand to be associated with payments app. Dion was never a payment app. So I don't know how this happened. So we are not going through. All the best. I still remember it. I lost my sleep for like 5 days. But as everything in life, I continue. I didn't stop. For me, if something like that happens, I just say, okay, I have to try more.
Yeah.
It's a learning lesson. You get your break and everything works.
Yeah. Well, it was a learning lesson. What you learned from it?
I learned that you have to work hard. No, for me, it's always the same learning lesson that I take away from every failure. That at this point, maybe this seemed like the worst thing that has ever happened to you, and you don't see necessarily the way out, but it's a small thing in the scheme of everything.
Yeah.
So you cannot let it affect you, or, if there is something that you need to learn, for example, if they were telling me this cannot work because there is a structural or fundamental issue, go and fix it and try again. But if it's something like that, like, we cannot use that because it's a payment app, or a QR app, something that's not even the reality, you're like, okay, maybe this was not it. You keep pushing, and results will come.
I love that. And the other important lesson is hard work's going to beat out talent every single time. And, it doesn't matter if you have one hurdle, it's just a test. You got to keep moving, which is incredible. Tell me about a mistake that ended up becoming an advantage for you.
Personal or
Whatever.
or professional life. A mistake.
Or maybe there hasn't been any.
No, there have been many mistakes.
But anything that turned out to be like an advantage where you're like, all right, well, worked out.
I cannot think of something very, very obvious, but I can speak mainly about hiring. So there has been instances that, you make some decisions about, so I have some examples in my mind from last year that, you hire some people and maybe it doesn't work out.
Right.
And even if at the time you're like, look, maybe it was a mistake to bring them in, or, it wasn't the right fit for whatever reason, I feel it becomes an advantage because everyone, it's like a relationship. If it doesn't work out, it's not a mistake necessarily, but you learn more about yourself and you learn more about what you like and what you want. So this is the process that we're going through now. We are interviewing for the marketing and growth team, and this is what you do essentially. I mean, you see with you people, if I know that in the beginning, I was using a different profile. So this was a mistake on my end, because now as time goes by and things are not working out either in interviews or after, I know exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, which makes total sense. It's exactly what you said when you're dating and it doesn't work out the guy. At least you know this time that's not the quality I want. So now you know exactly your avatar of person that you're looking for your company, which is incredible. All right, we're gonna do something called first move files. Okay, I'm gonna give you real scenarios and you're gonna tell me what a boss would do. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, you're at a venue. You see someone you'd actually like to meet. Your brain says, don't. What's the boss move?
I open Dion, I send them a drink. Easy. This is why we did it. So people don't have to actually walk up to other people. I do it behind their screen.
Someone says a drink, but you're not interested. What's the most respectful way to handle it?
As a founder of Dion or as a user of Dion? Because it's different.
I know, because you can't.
As a founder of Dion,
You can't unlock it, right?
as a founder of Dion, I unlock it. I send one back, and if I'm not interested, and I ask them for the feedback and how is their experience so far.
Very diplomatic.
If I'm a user and I'm not interested, advise users not to unlock.
Yeah.
But you never know. I think it's because we curate the community so well, and everyone comes like from a referral. It's super organic. They have very deep profiles about where they work and what they do. I feel if you actually give someone a chance, there will be a connection.
Yeah.
Either it's dating, professionally, etc. So my advice is, spend the time. Someone actually invested on getting to know you. So do the same thing, and you never know what is going to happen.
That's a boss move. Like, give them the respect if they had enough time, unless they're a weirdo. But I imagine that maybe there's some way. Do you vet for weirdos?
We have a very curated community, so this is why we see a great unlock rates. So we have more than 53% engagement, like people unlocking a drink, and actually interacting and send messages. And this is worth it because people feel comfortable. They know that someone waited for anyone who's here.
All right. Your friend is chronically online and never shows up in real life. How do you coach them back to being a human?
It's very hard to convince people sometimes that, real connection happen outside of their screens.
Yeah.
It's very easy to hide, and everyone does that. I mean, even my default is like, okay, I'm going to wear, my pajamas. I'm going to stay behind my computer. I'm going to code. I'm going to do the things that are easier and you are more comfortable with.
Coding is easier for me.
Much easier. Let's do this.
My husband loves HTML. Like, we don't know what that is.
For me, it's super. It's much easier.
Yeah.
I prefer it. Yeah, but the important thing is, to get out there. So in this case, I'll just get it done. This is what I do. You book something, you go to their house, you literally drag them out of the door.
Yeah.
Like tonight, you and me, one of their favorite things. So you can lure them.
There you go. All right. If Dion had a rule book for modern dating, what would be the 3 rules?
Break the ice with a drink. Okay, so break the ice intentionally. The other thing is, don't spend so much time chatting. Going going physically meetings. And this is what we see. We see that most of the people, they will actually say, oh, do you also want to grab this drink at this place Friday, 8:30? So skip the chit chat, get to the point. And the third thing would be, you never be open. You never know who is the person that's going to change the course of your life.
I love that. I absolutely, I got to get on this app and see, maybe I can get I don't know what I can get out of it. I'm going to drink on station. Yeah, I mean, I love making connections. All right, let's turn this into some boss fuel. For founders, creators, anyone building a community, what advice would you give? And what metric system would you use?
I think as I said in the beginning, it's super important to do something that you are very passionate about, so it can actually guide you through the journey. It's very important to surround yourself with the right environment. And that depends. It could be even the support you have in your family, but for me, it's also the friends. I think you are the sum of the people that are around you. So if you want to build and you want to actually get better at something, you have to find people that have the same trait. And and it's also the same with the relationships. For me, it's much easier, to be in a friendship or relationship with someone that we have the same mindset and goal. Otherwise, there is always conflict and it's not going to work. So for me, it's very important, have your goals, be very intentional about it, have your vision. It has to be very authentic and something that you believe in, and surround yourself with the environment, the opportunities, and the people that will help you get there.
Yeah, perfect. I love that. I love exactly, my husband is very different than me, but the two of us together, because I think it's important. I don't know if you have a significant other or you're married, but one thing that happened for me in my personal life is I married somebody that was very intentional and very driven like myself. And what happened for our income is we were both doing good independently, pretty good, but our income rose exponentially when we were together because our interests were aligned. And while we're so different, like our personalities, our end goal is the same. And that's really important.
It's very important to have the support.
And with the people that you hang out with, everybody, if you're not aligned with people that don't have the same vision, it's not going to work in the end. It definitely says
someone's vision will change.
Yeah.
And maybe that's you. So this is a problem.
That's why I got divorced the first time.
I love that.
I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. I mean, he happens to be like my really good friend. But yeah, it's absolutely true.
But you have to be compatible. And it doesn't mean that one is right.
No,
it's right.
You just have to be aligned.
To be aligned.
Yeah, you have to be aligned and your vision has to be the same. My ex-husband wanted to go play golf and kite surf. That's not what...
Great, I want to do that.
Me too. I want to eat cake and, and weigh 100 pounds, but that's not possible, I still but yeah, absolutely. You have to be aligned when you're doing anything in life, and whoever your partner is, it's the same thing. What about for, it's hard being a woman founder. It's very hard, especially, I'm assuming, because I don't know much about the tech world, but I'm assuming that the tech world is predominantly males.
That's a very correct assumption.
So what is that like for you as being a young female, a beautiful young female, and being in a male-dominated world?
You reach a point that you're so used to it because for me, it's very encouraging that it has improved so much. I remember when I was studying, I studied computer science. So it was literally like, 10 girls and I don't know, 200 males. So that was hard, actually. That was a lot. But now I feel everyone, in the community is trying a lot to be more inclusive and to actually support with young female entrepreneurs. It's still not there. There is nothing, as everything in life, there is not always equality. But I think it's super important to also find the people that support. Yeah. So, for example, I have some amazing female founders in New York. We have this group chat where it's like the four of us now. We were three, but now we became four. And we really support each other. We're like, okay, what do you think I should do, this? I don't know. One of us is fundraising. Guys, can you please connect me with investors that really help us? So I think everything is possible, but it's super important to have people that will push you and support you. And for me, the most important thing you can do is actually give back. Because what I hate and I have seen in my life is the mindset that some people have, like, oh, for me it was really hard, so I have to be really tough on you because you also have to get through it and be hard. I'm like, no, for me it was hard. And I remember all the times that I felt I didn't belong, all the times that, people would comment, what is she doing here? All the times that I would feel and be excluded. Not because people were necessarily bad, but because you're different. So people are also afraid of being someone different. You're like an alien sometimes. So I don't want anyone else to feel like that. So if, I can help on anything, I've tried through and I keep trying throughout my career, I want to push people, not give them back tough love.
No, it's nice. You pave the way for other women, young women, to know that it's possible. I'm sure it's hard as a woman trying to fundraise, trying to get buy-ins from other people, especially men. I mean, how do you overcome that? You're already pretty, So like they always say you have a pretty privilege, but I feel like it's like a double-edged sword. It's not. It's a double-edged. It's like, yes, it's a double-edged sword.
Learn about that a lot.
And I mean, when I was going, through sales my whole life, the whole go-to was like, you get sales because you have big boobs, or you get sales because you're pretty. No, could it just be that I'm good? Like, why is that? So how do you deal with that especially when you're fundraising and trying to get money from other men to fund a project or whatever?
Fundraise from women. No. Hey, first of all, you get used to that.
Yeah,
After the years you hear it has great grades because it's pretty or whatever. I feel it's a double-edged thing. I agree. It's great, of course, and you are grateful. But it's also, it's also harder because you have to convince people to take you seriously.
Yeah.
And you are not just a pretty face or something. But I approach things in life always with the same attitude. Work hard and let your actions speak louder than words. Because at the end of the day, it's up to you to make an impression. If someone doesn't see something or see it for the wrong reasons, it's on them, not you. They have to continue. Yes, because there are so many people out there and so many investors, founders, colleagues that are amazing. And, they're super indifferent or super like rational, and they will help no matter what. And they are not going to be subjectized or so just continue.
Yeah.
It could be on the other side as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. All right, we're going to switch gears real quick. Boss round. Can't overthink this. All right. First answers that come up. First answer that you can think of. Your personal power move when you walk into a room.
I don't make eye contact. I just go straight to the target.
That's a power.
Yes. No, I continue. It's like
Glasses. Like,
no, nothing. It's like a catwalk. You just continue, you walk like straight, and then I start seizing around. I don't like people that enter a room and, they're a bit lost, undecisive. What should I do? Who should I speak?
That's a boss move. I think you need to say that. You can tell when somebody feels like they don't belong in the room.
No, I always belong.
Yeah.
The room will belong around you.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know who's in charge, right? Yeah. One belief you had to unlearn to become a CEO.
That you always have to do. I'm one of those people, actually, that I used to believe that if I want to get something done, I have to do it myself. And sometimes that's the case, unfortunately. So it's very hard. It was very hard for me to delegate because I would push myself a lot. So many times I would bring amazing results. So I was like, look, no, I want to do it myself because I'm going to do it better. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. The most important thing that I had to learn the hard way is to have people that are better than you, and even if they are not, and they will become better, it's better, to have 10 people give 90%, which is not the case. Sometimes people are amazing and much better than you. Give 90% than you trying to do everything on your own. Yeah. So now I'm focusing much more on, hiring the right people and enable them to become the best versions of themselves. So my belief is that everyone in the team has to be much better than me, and I have to learn from them, not the other way around.
I absolutely love that statement. Like that, you need to re-record that because it's so true. Like when you're a CEO, you're not a manager, which is like, that's not a term I even use. You're a leader, and you want to empower your people. And it's been a journey for me because I like to do everything myself because I don't think anyone could do it as best as me. But what I find is when you do that, you take away other people's powers and they shrink at your table. And if you are a good leader, then you're going to empower and uplift people. You don't have to give a hand out, but you can definitely give a hand up. I do accept that. So I love what you said. Absolutely. Okay. A book idea that shaped how you build product.
From 0 to 1. It's like a very classic software book that explains how you should start small. It talks about so many different things. I think there's no one that is building a startup that has not read it. If they're not, they're crazy. They should. But one thing that changes, and for me it was a big change from the corporate world to the startup world, was that in the corporate world you have a timeline. So you can see and you can plan 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line. In the startup world, you cannot. So you have to release super fast. You have to get customers' feedback, and based on that feedback, adapt everything and release again. So especially coming in as an engineer, engineers, I don't want to generalize, but we have this approach that we know better than the users. We know what they want. So you have to unlearn that. You have to understand that you have to let users guide you.
Yeah. Okay, next one. You're non-negotiable when it comes to partnerships in business.
And transparency, one. And I really like, to be direct. I'm also Greek, so I'm very direct. But don't lead me on. Either it's working or it's not working, and this is why. We both know where we stand than actually, not replying to messages, letting things sleep. And I want to be efficient. I want to be, this is it, we are doing it, or we are not doing it. It's working because of that. It's not working because of that.
Yeah, don't sugarcoat. Just to see what it is. Yeah, love it. What's more important, being liked or being trusted?
Being trusted.
Best city in the world for meeting people.
New York, I can't compare. There's nothing like New York.
Okay. So anytime, yeah, anytime you build something around nightlife, dating, and human behavior, people project a lot onto it. Some people hear social club and assume it's shallow. What would you say? Like, what's your opinion on that?
People, project on everything. Yeah, but I think the most important thing for us is the feedback we get from the users that actually use it. So if you never use something, how can you have an opinion? This is always my approach in life. If you don't know someone, let's say, how can you express an opinion? So for us, it's super empowering because we get constantly feedback from so many people for everything. Thank you so much. This is such an amazing idea. This is such an amazing app. It helped. I moved to a new city and it actually helped me make friends. Or again, she was like, look, I met my boyfriend. Now we're living together. I have people sending me DMs, drinks actually, and telling me, look, I wanted to join this startup. I applied on LinkedIn. They never got back to me, but I found the founder here, sent him a coffee, and we met, and I got the interview and I got the job. So for me, this is why I love also consumer, and I wanted to live to streets. It's because it's so meaningful for me, the impact you can have, even if it's small or it's big, to other people's life. Even if you make someone's life like 10% better and you help them find that job, find love, find friends, for me, there's nothing else you can do. Nothing is mean.
I remember that. So what's next for you? I mean, you have accomplished a lot, the 30 under 30. Can you talk about that for a second? The 30 under 30 hat, like, where did that come from? Were you nominated? How did that happen?
Yes, this was when I started, when I left Bloomberg to start my own thing, essentially. So it was always in tech. So my whole career has been in tech, and this was it. It was a great station, but I think there are so many things happening. And for me, the things that are super impactful and meaningful are the things that I mentioned before. When I get messages from people and they tell me how I'm, Dion and the team and everyone actually managed to help them. So for me, the most important thing looking forward is building Dion. We are now in an inflection point. We're releasing Dion 2.0, so we're super excited about that. And we're changing the model completely. So we are removing all of the venues partnerships that we have, and we are going into a completely new redemption method. So everything happens through Apple Pay, so we can be global with a push of a button.
Yeah.
And we are also evolving, I would say, to communities. Because we were creating essentially a high-intent community, but there are so many communities out there that they don't have a digital space for the members to connect. So now Dion is evolving around giving all these different communities a digital space to the people, to the run club, to the yoga club, to, Greeks in New York, etc. So it becomes a very powerful ecosystem that connects individuals with individuals, communities between them, and brands with individuals and communities. So this is something that is moving culture, and this is something that's so blended in our real life. So for me, at this point, life, Dion, is like one thing. Amazing together.
Amazing. You are really such an inspiration, especially to young women. What's next for you? Maybe personally, professionally?
Building Dion. Yes, building Dion is very important. And the next thing that is going to happen, which I'm super excited, is we're going to be launching major cities in the US and Europe. Personally, I think it's something that happens, in parallel. You cannot say, this is the only thing that is going on with me. So as you move through different cities and countries, you are meeting people, you are making new friends. And one thing that I'm super passionate, but I have fallen behind the last years, unfortunately, is traveling. But when I say traveling, I like to be in places that I've never been before.
Wow.
So I go there with friends. We have these annual trips at Christmas, during Christmas and Easter. And we always pick a place that we haven't been, which is has a very unique culture. And we go there and try to, learn as much as possible and explore. So this is something that I'm super passionate about. I'm counting the countries. Now it's 66, but the last years have been so stale because I don't have the time. But I feel, I'm going to get back to it.
Wait, what does Dion stand for? Like, where I didn't even ask.
Yes, everyone asks. It's from Dionysus, who is the Greek god of going out and socializing and drinks and wine.
There you go. I love that. Okay, and if people want to find you and get connected with you, where would they find you?
LinkedIn, under my name. Good luck spelling it.
We'll put it in the solid stuff about
Or Instagram, Rebekah Pal, which is easier.
That is so exciting. And one last piece of advice for like a woman that's, I would say, a young woman. Give me one last piece of advice. Anything.
It's very important to know that you don't belong because of, how you grew up or by privilege, but you end up belonging by your actions. So it's very important to have goals and work till you actually reach them. And if you put the effort, if you put the time, no one is going to stop you. It's just up to you. And this is what I say to myself all the time. It's like, it's up to me what I'm going to make out of myself.
Yeah. If it's not you, then who? No, if it's not now, then when? Absolutely. Well, today's episode was absolutely incredible. For you ladies out there, I mean, just get outside of yourself. You really can do anything in this life that you want. You see Rebekah, sorry, I said Rebekah. You see Rebekah, she has been, a breath of fresh air just talking to her and breaking barriers, defying all odds. I love it. Male-dominated industry and just crushing the game. So if you like today's episode, go ahead, subscribe, tell a friend. If you don't unsubscribe. I don't know. But if you want to see more, don't. It's been so incredible just sitting here and talking to you. You're inspiring me. I don't have enough on my plate. Now I want to do more things. But it has been absolutely incredible spending the afternoon with you. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been incredible.
Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure.
Thanks.